here today. Lingon Esports versus GZA Academy. We also have Billy Gaming versus Alter Ego, and then 666 Legend versus LGD Gaming after this. So quite a number of matches, as always, throughout here, Kenobi, as we're starting off on Gardens of Lijiang. Anything standing out to you already?
And it looks like here GZA Academy is going to be taking a DPS approach to this map. Sometimes you do see, you know, the quad, the triple DPS. Pharah definitely has a home on this map all the time. And Nero specifically has shown in the times where GZA Academy has been able to pop off that they are able to play a very decent Pharah. I'm going to definitely be looking out for Hager, though, as well. See how he's able to fight with MG. We talked about MG versus Hager, Diva versus Sombra. That's a really good hack onto Rise and a really clean dive coming out from JMac.
Yeah, already Haker doing a lot of damage, taking out Rise. Maui also got taken out previously, so GZA Academy, other than Nero, is really getting punished for poking out here and trying to peek and get some damage done. Piggy and JMac finding two more. GZA is, I don't think they actually have a single kill yet. If they do, it's just one. So they're having so much trouble trying to keep up here on the point. And in terms of ult charge, they do lose that fight pretty handedly. Now Haker's going to push up aggressively, trying to take out the Mercy yet again. Because once you clip the wings of that Angel, it's going to be hard for Pharah to consistently put out damage.
And here's something I want everyone in the audience to look out for whenever Hager gets a hack on. Just see how fast, every time Hager gets a hack, JMac jumps onto the hack target and dives onto him. It's pretty clean, and this is a roster that is mixed. Hager and JMac are not from, or don't speak the same language, I don't think. And this is a big EMP right here from him.
Right from above, JMac and Molly pick up the kills immediately. A great play by Haker. You can see, again, Haker just, his position right here is to stay on the bridge, farm up that ult, and the second that GZA tries to push out, get hit by the EMP. Nero's still sitting on this barrage. This is a problem that we've seen previously in this season where they just won't use ultimates and wait for too long until it's too late. And now, Lingon Esports has taken the lead. They have full control of the point, and they're not even worried at all. They're ignoring Nero. They're going right on the bridge again, and JMac takes out Sentry using the Primal Rage while Nero just watches.
And Nero is trying his hardest to just get anything done, but the rest of the team is dying behind him. And really for GZA Academy right now in these next couple of fights, your win condition is this EMP barrage. You have the combo available, 60%. They need to get something done in this next fight because Lingon Esports is going to be farming up to those ultimates, and you aren't going to be able to sustain on that point.
And if you look at LG, they have just a Transcendence, but that could probably be all they need just to hold off GZA for another push. Nero's still sitting on this barrage. Now an EMP comes out, and there's the opportunity off of MG's EMP, but they only really get the DMAC onto Piggy. Haker gets two off of that. And again, LGE making water into wine right here, right? GZA just can't figure things out. They burn the resource that they've been sitting on this entire round, and they get nothing off of them.
Yeah, and that was a really good Transcendence there coming out from Molly on that Zenyatta. Was able to mitigate a lot of the damage. Even though the Diva mech went down, he was able to keep the rest of his team alive, and they were able to clean up GZA Academy on the ground. And now at 99%, they have one more chance to get in here, but Hager has this EMP. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to do anything.
I was going to say, I don't even know if it's a chance right now. They have Tizzy with the Primal Rage. Sentry can use the Sound Barrier. That's about it. There's a hack coming down, EMP from Haker still ready to go, and if that doesn't work, they have a Diva Bomb and a Sound Barrier to work with. So LG just has to start getting kills. They can just start snowballing once the EMP goes down. Haker just used it. Piggy finds one, finds two, finds three. GZA is falling apart once again, and after winning that first completion, LG took it and ran away with it.
And something actually that we talked about before, with which we wanted to see from MG, was this idea of the Diva scouting out the Sombra, and there it was Piggy actually doing it to MG himself. So MG was getting scouted out a lot by the Diva mech and not being able to get as much value as he wanted. He only had 1 or 2 EMPs in that last fight, where Haker had at least 3 in that last round by himself. So really good job and really smart play coming out from Piggy, making sure to understand that the Sombra is one of their win conditions. If I can get rid of the Sombra, they're not going to have anything to do with us.
Exactly, right? You eliminate that win condition, all of a sudden the other team starts scrambling. That's what we saw from GZA. I mean, they scrambled to try and get a barrage out from Nero. MG scrambling to try and keep up with Haker. And it really did not work out well. Once they lost that first fight, things went into the drain pretty quickly.
And this is really where I want to see MG scout out this Haker on Sombra. It looks like he already got scouted out. So what I want to see here from GZA, once they scout out the Sombra, I want them to run at Lingon Academy, because at that point, it's only a 5v6 and they don't have a Diva or anything to try and mitigate a lot of that damage. So I want to see them play aggressive whenever they scout out Haker. MG, again, doing a really good job here of scouting out Haker and making sure he's not getting the value he needs.
Yep, but Haker just already prepared, goes back out to the Mega Health Pack as these two teams duke it out on the point itself, which is open. Of course, we are on a much more claustrophobic round here, so that means you're going to have a composition like GOATs or Sombra Goats that's going to make you a lot chunkier in these more confined spaces. LGE again comes out on top with this composition switch. GZA just gets absolutely obliterated one by one.
GZA gets split really hard there, and Lingon Esports is such a well-oiled machine and a well-coordinated machine that they're able to take out each target one by one and win that fight. And coming into this next fight, they have that EMP ready, and EMP, especially from Haker Rapture, we know is a fight-winning ultimate.
No, absolutely. LG is sitting on a number of fight-winning ultimates here, actually. I mean, you can see just Molly's one Transcendence in the previous round was all they needed to win the final fight on Garden, so they have more than that. Haker with the EMP.
It's big.
GA walks right into it. 5 members of their team get caught in the EMP. And at that point, and not only that, but Maui got eliminated so quickly. You got to have that ability to try and somehow keep the other team off of you and then go down immediately. GZA losing so many members of their team there. Now 40% on the clock, on the point here for LGE, and they still have an ultimate advantage.
Oh, and JMac is hiding here. He's trying to pull a bumper and just to hit that sneaky shatter. They don't scout it out just yet. He's trying to go for it. Will he get it?
Oh no, you hate to see it out. The Transcendence does come out from Rise. Good anticipation. They're sitting in the back just in case. And then a Graviton comes out to hoist LGE.
It's eaten!
And that's wow, MG's gets eaten. So GZA trying to stay alive, and they are able to make it happen. Rise picks out JMac. Rise right now, definitely the MVP of this fight with the Transcendence and then a kill. Now Tizzy finds Haker. LG falling back. Not a huge loss though. They still have Sound Barrier, and they have 72% on the board. I mean, you gotta give the other team a chance sometimes, you know?
Yeah, and GZ Academy right there, the tank line comes up incredibly clutch. Tizzy hits a nice monster counter shatter onto the rest of the team after MG was able to eat the Graviton from Piggy. If Piggy gets that Graviton off, there was really nothing at the end of the other side to deal with it besides the sound barrier. So great job from them, and now coming back into this fight, they have the support advantage for GZ Academy.
LG now also armed with the sound barrier, so they can react a little bit against whatever GZA throws at them. But really, they're looking for Molly to get the Transcendence, about 8% or so, and then Haker now about to get the EMP. Again, those two ultimates have been crucial for LG throughout this map so far. Haker now going into the backline, looking for the EMP, decides against it, going to go back through mid, seeing that MG has already scouted them out. Again, they're going to try and move away from him and uses the telelocator to get the EMP on the point. Picky finds Tizzy. Nero backing up, looking for a way out. The Diva caught in the bubble, caught in the corner, caught in the crossfire as a Graviton comes down and locks down LG, but a Transcendence from Molly's ready to go. Ledso with the kill on MG's D-Mac. Now Kami and JMac on the board. JMac again for 2. And LGE just has the response every single time. Their support ult reaction is keeping them in this, and GZA burns resources, loses the point, and now they have only about 20% to recontest before they lose Lijiang.
And the biggest thing that they used in that last fight was the ultimate there, the Transcendence from Rise. They're not going to have it for this Graviton, so again, MG has to come up clutch and eat this Graviton. They're only going to have the sound barrier, but that can be burned through pretty easily.
Absolutely. There's the Graviton and goes down. GZA gets caught in it. Tizzy and MG still have there's a stun, gets knocked in. Tizzy looking for a way to get this Earth Shatter worked in, but they're behind a wall. Now it gets knocked in, but there's no one on the point. And you hate to see that happen, Haker with that endgame EMP, but it doesn't matter. And LGE.Huya takes Lijiang very convincingly with a 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah, and one thing that was really cool in that last fight is we talked about Haker, and Haker did a really good job. He actually was able to hack the Sombra so that Sentry wasn't able to sound barrier, and Mui goes down. At that point, it's a 5v6, you lost your Brigitte.
Yeah, that was really hard loss there. Panda, we're going to bring you in real quick. A 2-0 victory here for LGE. Do you think it kind of spoke for itself, or what really stuck out to you in terms of LGE's win? Because they were really in complete control of that map through and through.
Yeah, I would definitely say so, but the entire tempo control was based off of Haker. Our assumptions were obviously correct in this entire manner, that Haker would be not necessarily running rampant, but the entire team of GZA would have to be on the lookout. Kenobi mentioned mid-cast that MG was doing a fantastic job, whether on that Sombra from Gardens all the way to Diva on Control Center, though the control percentage didn't garner for GZA that they were so always on the lookout for Sombra, always so close to shutting down these team fights if they had the ultimate charge. I mean, Rise was just a mere 10% charge, if not just a half a volley away from having a Transcendence to shut down that following fight that they lost at the beginning of Control Center. That's how close that beginning fight was, and not to mention that 3-2-1, 3-3, whether you're running Sombra or triple tank, triple support, it's just so hard to dislodge on both of those maps in particular. Going back to Gardens, GZA Academy, you said it as well, Rapture. Nero holding on to that barrage just for way too long. At that point, man, you just got to end up swapping either the Winston 3-3 to combatant against this composition, because you need that brig, you need that D.Va just to be on the lookout for the Sombra time and time again, and to shut down this frontline pressure.
Yeah, it was super hard. I mean, Haker again, obviously the win condition right here. Again, constantly harassing the far Mercy line,
He's shutting down
especially on
Pharmacy by
Guardian. Look at
himself.
this.
Yeah.
Nero's just running
Anti-air
away.
Sombra, dude.
And of course,
Yeah,
a big shatter. That was huge.
I mean, if you don't check your corners, right? Like, if you lose the first fight decisively, just like what happened there for GZA, you know that they're going to have tank ultimates. Whether or not they use Graviton first or not, they're going to have tank ultimates. Why wouldn't LGE be holding off on that front door right there? So GZA Academy just not only getting shattered in-game, but I think their mentality is getting a little shattered here just off just these crazy fights.
All right. Well, it's not over just yet. GZA can still get back into this. So of course, we've stressed it. This is very important for GZA to win. If they don't win it, their playoff chances might be out of here, while LGE in full control, looking to make their record 4-0 in the group. We'll find out how the rest of the series goes after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Contenders China Week 4 Day 1 coming your way in just a few moments.
Wish the last time we captured the Rapture, Only Wish was on Zenyatta, and as we know, Only Wish is not a flex support player. He's a main support player, so I want to see how Only Wish is going to be incorporated into this lineup.
Well, honestly, at least for me, it feels a little baffling because, I mean, Rise seemed like one of the kind of standout players for GZA last map, right? So to take out Rise and put in Only Wish when I feel like there could have been other players that could have been possibly taken out just in terms of quality of play. Obviously, that's not entirely what their decision was based on. It was based on, you know, the composition, the map they're playing on. But, I mean, when you take out Rise, a player that was literally trying to keep them in the game as long as possible, it kind of makes me wonder.
And there you see again, MG is doing a great job of trying to scout out Haker, making sure he's not getting the value, but Haker is already 70% towards that EMP. He is very low right now, so he's doing a great job of avoiding a lot of MG's dives onto him.
And just GZA just is giving LG so much room to work with, like letting themselves push themselves into the corner. They're now finally pushing back up onto the point, but LG flexible moves with them, and then of course that's because they want to get the fat EMP and JMac landing the Earth Shatter as well. That was absolutely huge. GZA just gets baited hard. They come out of the corner. LG is like, all right, come on the point. We'll let you right into the open so we can hit you with all our ultimates and take the point.
Haker just doesn't even care. He throws his translocator into the middle of the entire team and is just able to get off the kill onto Tizzy, and then he's able to follow up with a huge EMP. The Shatter is comboed there with JMac from a great play from him. LGE just looking so well coordinated, and Haker is just the pinnacle of this coordination right now.
Yeah, I really love how he uses the translocator, just go right in, and a lot of the time it's when he's trying to get away from someone else too, so like immediately 1-2 comboing from evading somebody else to going into a fat EMP jump in and with a big play right in the middle of the fight. Haker just has no fear whatsoever, going already towards a flanking route to the side. Now Tizzy's going to try and give some more sneaky shatters that we've seen already in this series. LG, I wonder if they're anticipating it. No, actually, no. Tizzy's going to show himself, so moving up now because they realize it's probably better to play a little more fundamentally than trying to gimmick their way into this fight. Now the Graviton and Transcendence popped, and the rally by LG all at once here, and GZA as well popping there as Earth Shatter from Tizzy comes out. Moe's going to clean up 2 there. LGE falling back. They don't want to give any more deaths away to the GZA squad, but JMac just can't help it, can't get away in time, doesn't have skates under those boots, and it will be a big win there for GZA.
And that was a really nice shatter actually from Tizzy there. He's able to get around the shield and hit a huge 3-man shatter, able to get negate a lot of the damage that was coming out to him. And now Haker again has this EMP available to him. Not many support ultimates for GZA Academy. Only Wish is the only one who has it, and I want to see Only Wish wait for the EMP to come up before he soundberries. He needs to be very sneaky here, but it looks like he's not gonna. He avoids it. Rapture, great play.
EMP to Earth Shatter combination yet again. And unfortunately for GZA, they're trying to salvage this fight a little bit here. I think they might be burning resources in vain. They use the sound barrier, it doesn't work out. The Graviton and the D.Va Bomb both come out. They don't get kills. LGE, they got so much value off that fight. Not only do they win the fight, but GZA freely throws ultimates away from them, which completely hinders them going into this next fight.
Yeah, Tizzy goes to try for a hero shatter right there, but ends up getting bursted down very quickly. And again, it was a really nice play from Only Wish. He was able to avoid the EMP and put out the sound barrier, but there was just too much damage onto Mui, and Mui went down. And at that point, again, once you lose your Brigitte in these matchups, mirror matchups, it's basically a 5v6.
Oh, Graviton will be thrown down by Piggy. J-Mac trying to capitalize. The pin doesn't land cleanly, falls back as the Transcendence is popped by Sentry. LG now going back in with the re-engage, knowing that Moby's the only one who's thrown an ultimate down now for GZA, as that Transcendence is done with, the rally's now done with. LG can move up. This is just a raw fight right here. Both teams, no ultimates to go, but Haker is about to get the EMP. That's the thing. Time is also on their side. Eventually, Haker will have the EMP. Does have it. There it goes.
Oh.
And LGE is going to slaughter GZA on the outside of this one. They find Tizzy. They're about to demech the Diva. They do. Actually, a slower trickle of kills than I expected, but Nero also go down with a right-click down onto the payload. Maui also gets picked up there. And LG not only gets the win, but stagger GZA just a little bit there, but they don't get the entire team.
And Haker is just taking so much pressure by himself here. You see Only, which is always on the high ground. MG always on the high ground, trying to deal with Haker, but Haker's totally fine with that. The solo grab onto Sentry just to secure this point.
Yeah, it might have been a little too preemptive. It only got the Zenyatta, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team picks up the slack, and now you have the Bree back on the point. Only Wish has to go and touch it, just barely does. But at that point, it was essentially over. Only Wish was only able to get a toe on for so long, and a very, very convincing win there for LGE. Panda, we got to bring you right back in here, my guy. And right there, LGE, they completely destroyed. What was the look there for GZA? What were they doing?
Well, it was more of which I was already talking about, right? Just this time more around J-Mac and the supporting lineup of Piggy as well. That every time that a hack came through, even when it was that no fear translocator to even capture the point, regardless of GZA stopping the payload once or twice, putting a few dents in the attack of LGE, it meant absolutely nothing. Just because of whenever a hack came through, whenever somebody was low and the armor pack came out, was when, again, the speed boost came through, and then Langza would just hit the gas pedal, floor all the way down, straight down to the center of the earth, and you used to see J-Mac, Piggy, the entire lineup just completely collapse on top of one target, and it's all based around just that one Discord orb and that one hacked that target. So right down from Haker, the entire lineup of LGE, again, are firing off on all cylinders. Not one of these members are definitely hardly missing any steps in this regard. I mean, maybe polishing up getting that graviton surge maybe a little bit faster, but that's just nitpicking at this point. GZA Academy, they still have little to no answer to Haker, regardless of how much scouting they've been putting on.
And Kenobi, I think Panda kind of wrapped it up there on a nice little bow there, but do you think it's possible? Well, here's the thing, is that in Lijiang, we just saw some really solid solo ult usage a lot on Lijiang, but this time they're really going, LG is really going for the EMP shatter combination, because it's working pretty much every time. How can GZA like stop that combination?
I think that it's really difficult, because I think you need to scout out the Sombra prematurely is really, again, it's kind of the name of the game, because you can just translocate in and you can just EMP. There's not much a Reinhardt's going to be able to do to block that. His shield's going to be down, and then we've seen so far, time and time again, J-Mac is a very capable Reinhardt who's going to hit that shatter. And now, GZ Academy switching over to something else, the hamster... No, this is a composition that works on this map. It's quad DPS, but the Hammond is interesting because you are playing against someone of the capability of Haker, who's just going to hack this hand. And it's just an ult battery right now. He's died twice already. Haker already has 75% to his ult, and he's just going in. He doesn't care who he's fighting now.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, yeah, it can work, but Tizzy, you're right. Is right now a big ult battery. MG does fight.
Nice shot.
That's really what GZA has to do here. They got to get these picks as soon as possible and continue to keep LGE at a player disadvantage. It's really the only way they can avoid snowballing. That they get the pick on the Haker. If they continue to get these one picks here and there, they can keep LGE back. But Moe goes down to the J-Mac, getting a little too overextended there and gets taken up by a Reinhardt. Now Nero back in the Pharah. Doesn't have the barrage just yet, trying to farm some ultimate off the Reinhardt, but they're getting blocked almost every time. You know, I was going to say, Sentry going over to the Sombra, good idea. I think having the Sombra against the other Sombras, more often than not, what you need to do to take care of the other team's EMPs, but I wasn't expecting such a drastic composition change here from GZA.
Yeah, and through all of that, GZ only got one tick in that last fight, so not that much value, as there is Haker here on this Sombra, going to be dueling MG. He gets the kill. The EMP, though, comes out from Sentry, but the better one from Lingon comes out.
I was going to say, yeah, Haker didn't get caught in that EMP from Sentry, so he was able to follow up with a counter EMP. It hits hard. GZA gets victimized by that. And now they've been reduced to 2 minutes left on the clock here with only 1/3 on point A. Nero does pick up Haker. That's big. That's the thing. GZA has to act now. They know that Haker's down. They have to go up on the point. They have a Nero barrage, but LGE falls back into the corner, which means Nero can't stay out in the open for too long or they get picked off.
Yeah, LGE is playing this very well. They're disengaging, understanding that Haker isn't there, so they need to play a little bit safer around corners. That's a shatter that doesn't quite hit much.
Yeah, I think he actually got booped just as the Earth Shadow was getting landed, so if there was anyone lined up, they were no longer lined up by then as the Q button, Q key was hit. Molly with the Transcendence, a Dragaton comes, oh sorry, Dragon Strike comes out, but yeah, you're right. Piggy eats it immediately. Narrow with the Barrage and a Haker. So again, Haker picked off, but this time, LGE already has the kills coming, so GZA cannot follow up on the Haker kill. LGE is so good at protecting Haker. Either Haker's alive the whole time, or if Haker goes down, they're making sure they get the kills so they don't get taken out themselves.
Yeah, Haker got barrage there actually, so they're just throwing everything to try and deal with Haker, and Haker's going to come back into this fight again with his EMP Sentry not even 50% to his just yet, so it's going to be an EMP battle, one that Haker has in the bag right now.
And LGE falls back, seeing the minefield come out. Now here's a Diva Bomb forcing GZA to get into cover. And they do, which means LG can now go out and try and pick up some kills. Maui getting knocked away by this Lucio here, Lengsa, but Haker steals the kill. Now Haker at 48 HP, gets cut down by Nero, picks up the 2-piece, gets the D-Mech, and the Hammond's there to help pick it up. There's a 3-kill there by Nero. The triple was crucial there to take out LGE, and that will be enough to hold the point off for just enough time to get this point A capture.
Yeah, that was actually really smart from Nero, understanding that Haker had translocated onto the high ground to try and deal with Mui on that Widowmaker so he could just go up there, pump out a lot of damage, and get that nice 3K. And finally, GZ Academy looks a little bit better. They get this first point and now can start getting towards the second point. They're very close towards this EMP Barrage combo. Let's see if it can work better than it did on Lijiang Rapture.
We'll see, but you know, a clock strikes twice every day. You know, eventually on offense you might get it right. Defense has to be right every time. On offense, you only got to win one fight. So GZA does win that one fight, but they still have so much work to do. And really, whatever LGE does here, they'll probably still have the time bank advantage going into the next round anyway. So, you know, I would say right now LG still in very much control here. They're popping ultimates, ready to go. Piggy picks off Nero. MG has the Dragon Strike, but throwing it away at this point might be a waste. And
it got eaten again.
Literally right into the defense matrix. As I say that, LGE is in absolute.
They're switching. Yeah, they have to be switching. Yeah.
And yeah, GZA is switching back over. It looks like Moe will also possibly commit. They might do what, like, no, they're not going to do Widowmaker goats, but they're going to have them go over to the 3, and now GZA switching things up to try and give themselves a chance.
And this is a very dangerous position right now for GZ Academy because Haker has this EMP. It comes out, gets everyone. It's just going to be a bloodbath right now, and that's a fight win easy for Lingon Esports. And now they can just farm up to their abilities, farm up to their more of their cooldowns, whereas GZ Academy haven't gotten anything, no ult charge whatsoever to speak of. And with a minute left, they're going to have to find some ult charge, or this is going to be over, Rapture.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, they got themselves potentially a better composition at the cost of all their ultimate charge. So, and not only that, this isn't a composition that can necessarily really reliably try and get ultimate charge in terms of poking and peeking at this stage of the game, because, you know, it's really easy for LG to take cover in the second phase of this map on defense, and they don't really have any characters that are able to sit long range and do that damage. So GZA is really struggling to scrape together some ultimate charge here, and LGE is not struggling to get kills. JMac gets one, and now they have the ultimate advantage going into this fight. They use the Primal Rage on JMac, who gets another one. Piggy with the 3rd kill there. That's a 6v3 advantage for LG, 6v2. And Academy at this point really just have nothing to show for it. They'll have a rally and a Transcendence. A Transcendence could be enough, but with 30 seconds on the clock, that's a lot to ask for.
And again, look at that check mark next to Hager's name. He has this EMP. We've seen it time and time again. He's hitting these 4-man, 5-man's EMP every single time. And really, the people need to sidestep it. Sentry has to sidestep this EMP. If he gets caught by it, it's just lights out here for GZ Academy.
Absolutely right, and Sentry has been able to do that previously, but Sentry does get the Transcendence out just in time, but only Wish Mui and MG both get caught by the EMP, while Tizzy gets knocked down. JMac gets stunned mid-air, can't go in as aggressively as they would like, but Langsa picks up the kill. A Diva Bomb right on top of the ground. What was that? Only like balanced on top of the Winston's head, but only picks up 1 kill. This Nostalgia was, and then Piggy down them for 2. That's absolutely huge against the backboard behind them, and GZA did not see it coming. It landed in the back line. MG gets DMAC by Haker. Now JMac with the Primal Rage. LGE is just trying to pile it on right now. Overtime ticking away, and there it is. LGE will be picking up another map under their belt, melted into their sandwich. It's tasting good. It's looking good for them. Kings Row is the win for them. And Panda, we're going to bring you back in with Kenobi as well here. It's a 2-0 lead for LGE. Panda, what do you got to say about that one?
I like the cycling of ultimates after going Zen 3-3 too late for GZ. I mean, once the cart unlocked, you know you're hardly gonna find any value in those ultimates anyway, because the EMP and all the support ultimates are gonna be coming through anyway. You're better off just resetting your ult economy then, rather than at a minute. Because I mean, you all just saw what happened a couple minutes ago. The swap over to the dive tanks, Piggy over to Diva, and then JMac over to Winston. Just absolutely following up on those EMPs and those hacks a lot faster. Never gave GZA a solid chance of building up a solid chance of getting any value out of their ultimates.
Yeah, and that's really been the story here. Haker constantly in the lead, LG constantly in the lead with the ultimate resources. I think GZ only won like one fight on King's Row at Kenobi.
Yeah, it was on streets for defense. It was nuts.
Yeah, so that looked like a high point there for you, Kenobi, but that was kind of pulled out. Yeah.
I mean, they did. They looked a lot. They looked better at some point. You know, Nero had a really nice 3K play, as we're going to see some highlights here. And of course, it's just the main man, Haker, always on the highlight reel. Reminds me a lot of Micha from last season, just because of his understanding of the hero. Micha was basically a Doomfist player for most of the season. Very good, had probably the best Doomfist in the world. And if Haker continues to play at this type of level, I think especially once we go challenge, if LGE.Huya is going to be able to make it there, we might be talking about Haker in the way of, you know, top 5, top 3 Sombras in the world. He just has such a mastery over the hero.
And I guess you could go Zarya if you're Haker in that regard, especially in those final moments when you already had the Winston in the Diva for your team of LGEH. But why would you? This entire team of LGE, they have yet to be fully pushed to the limit. No team in Chinese contenders has yet to fully shut down this team. And I agree with you, Kenobi. This is definitely well on their way to be a Pacific contender at the showdown. So I mean, yeah, don't fix what ain't broke if you're LGE.Huya.
And any other thoughts before we take a break here, guys?
Oh, okay. One about GZ. Panda talked about it a little bit with like alt cycling, and when they won that first fight, at the end of King's Row, they were able to go into that second point, and they were pushing, and they had the EMP barrage combo, but Nero just barrages by himself, and it's a lot of this miscommunication and uncoordination that we're seeing. Didn't have a support. You know, there was some, I think Sentry was just not with him on that Mercy just yet, and he goes down very, very quickly, and there's just an EMP barrage combo that you could have used, but it just didn't get used correctly, and that's a win. That is basically a fight-winning ultimate that could have taken you to that second point by itself, so I want to see more of this coordination of ultimates coming from this team.
Well, we'll see. Do they have a chance still? LGE has really kind of put themselves in a position to win this series. They only need one more map, but we're going to take a little bit of a halftime break here before we bring you the rest of the set. Don't go anywhere. More of LGE.Huya versus GZA will be coming your way. Overwatch Contenders China Season 1 2019 Week 4 Day 1. More of that on the other side of this break. He's mapped to lose right now, but if they take it, they will take the series as they are up 2-0. This is our assault map. Kenobi, we're moving on to Hanamura, so any expectations in terms of composition? We're already seeing Orisa on defense.
Yes, we're seeing a bunker type of composition here from this team, and it looks like actually Nero gets the pick onto Haker at the start, so that's really good for them. And Lingon Esports actually is going to be switching over to something we don't see too often. They're going to be playing some dives, some Sombra, Genji dive. Genji, a hero in China who has seen some prominence before, so they're going to try and dive onto this bunker composition of GZA. Let's see if they can do it before the ultimates come online for GZA.
This is almost like a Season 1 or Season 2 2018 Contenders composition right here. I haven't seen Genji in the region for a little while. And of course, once you see that bunker composition, a lot of spam damage, you want to have that reflect and you want to have the mobility to either deal with it head on or get around with it respectively. And Langsa picks up. That's a big pick off there. So already one of the major damage dealers here for the GZA side is gone. They got to rely on Nero, who is purpled and super low, but gets bolstered up just in time, trying to take care of Haker, who gets out of dodge using the translocator. Meanwhile, MJ gets put down. Nero finds Haker. Kami on the point
they're
now.
gonna get the point.
And they might be able to steal it away here, but GZA is able to touch just in time as Tizzy walks up using the shield to keep themselves alive, but Nero and Tizzy get picked off by JMac and Piggy respectively. Now the dive in by Kami gets one, and look at that. GZA loses the point. Now LGE has 6 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
And Mui is just in the back here. They're not actually going to kill him. They're going to kill him now, and then they're going to rush to point here with 6 minutes and 30 seconds. They have the man advantage, so they can just walk on point. Mui going way too over-aggressive there. He didn't need to be in that position, Rapture.
No, not only that, but, well, actually, all right, so JMac goes down. That might have stifled this push, and then Nero pushing off over to the McCree, but will it be enough to hold off against this this boosted Dragon Blade? Kami is unable to do any sort of real damage there, unfortunately for them. LGE trying to make the most of that Nano Boost Dragon Blade combination. It doesn't work out. They're stuffed a little bit by the McCree. Nero picking it off. McCree obviously a good pick here on defense. Doesn't have to be too mobile. The spawn's right there. The high ground's available, so McCree can often be a good pick on this part of the map.
Yeah, we'll just call that blade rusty from Kami. I think he hasn't played Genji in a very long time. Maybe didn't expect, didn't have the mechanics down just right. His hands were a little bit cold, but he's going to be going back over to the Brickets. So now Lingon going to be sticking to what they know, going to be playing this 3-2-1 with the Sombra. GZ Academy, Nero going back to his McCree. So this is pretty good. If they dive onto him, he has some ability to put out some damage, and he has the stun as well.
The thing is, though, is he's another very easy target for the EMP from Haker, who is just waiting with the Finn just barely breaching the waves here. Throws up the translocator, but just uses the EMP as the Winston jumps right on top of him. Tizzy literally just sacrifices himself to EMP gods. Nero using the high noon, trying to peek out, but can't get out just in time, so no sightlines were formed to get a kill. Now, getting picked off here potentially by Haker. Doesn't see it coming. Haker does get the kill. Now the D.Va gets hacked. Haker is just a one-man army right now, doing so much damage to GZA with just the hacks, and finds Nero, and helps take out Mui. Kami steals the kill. Now we have JMac using the Winston Primo Rage to keep GZA locked in their spawn, and only does so much damage, but also they have Tizzy doing the same thing as well. JMac gets stunned. Kami finds MG. Haker looking for more. Haker's about to get another EMP. This might be the second EMP of this one fight for this Sombra player. GZA needs to take care of him right here, right now. Haker finds Tizzy, 97%, and is now in the high ground, just waiting for that ultimate charge to pop in. But while that is happening, GZA is able to dislodge LGE, so they're going to sit on the EMP for just now.
Yeah, but they did keep it, so that's really the most important thing there, and GZ used a lot in that last fight. Nero actually going to be swapping over to the Sombra himself to try and counter what Haker is bringing to the table, and in this next fight, I'm really going to be looking out for Rise. Is he going to be able to sidestep the EMP coming out from Haker, because that's really what they need, and something cool about Haker as well is not only is he getting hacks and big EMP and big damage, he's giving up so much information to the rest of his team, and they're just taking it very well.
Yeah, this is so smart by LG. They use the high ground. They're going to do a two-prong push here. High ground on one side and have Haker harass on the other. Haker, though, goes down to 28 HP, has to fall back, but was able to hack Kami. So GZ a little squishier for the time being. Unfortunately for them, LG was able to get any kills off of it. The D.Va bomb comes out. That's just a zoning D.Va bomb, that is, to get GZA off the point, to set them up for an EMP. A Transcendence, though, comes out from Rise as they were out of the range of the EMP. Now LG is trying to scramble to get some kills, but Haker gets stunned and hacked themselves. MG finds one. The EMP, a massive EMP. Molly probably would have been caught in it, too, if they were alive. All 6 members of LGE go down one way or another as a result of that EMP. Still, JMac finds 2 kills. Certainly not enough, though, to salvage that fight, but LG shouldn't be worrying too much as they still have about 3 minutes on the clock, and they have 1 tick of point B taken.
And finally, we're seeing some life coming out from GZ Academy. We're seeing Nero playing a pretty decent Sombra, gets a really nice EMP at the end of that fight, gets 5 people, and it's time for Lingon to be on the opposite end of a really big EMP, so great play from them. They were able to also sidestep. Rise was able to sidestep the EMP coming out from Haker, so GZ Academy seems to be playing a little bit better now. They did give up a tick, but you take that if you're going to be winning these fights.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to take what you can get right here. LGE trying to take a new route this time, and they know, let's get rid of Rise so he can't try and send it against us when we use the EMP. So now Nero on their own Sombra trying to do the same thing. Takes out Piggy, great tracking there to take out the Zarya. Meanwhile, Mui takes the rally to task, and MG's going to pick up a kill on the Haker. JMac gets stunned, looking for a way out, but can't find one. Tizzy picks up the kill. And now another minute burned off the clock. This is probably the best GZA has looked throughout the series so far. Maybe a bit, a little better late than never at this point. And they could potentially stop LGE from getting a second point on this. That would be absolutely huge to keep themselves in the game here, Kenobi.
Especially with the time that Lingon Esports started with. They started with 6 minutes and 25 seconds onto this point B. Yep. Now down to 1 minute and 42. So they've done a great job here, GZ Academy, of holding. And GZ Academy have a lot of ultimates in this next fight. And that's another big EMP from Nero, but Molly gets the Transcendence off.
Yeah, again, this is the second time we've seen this there. An EMP comes out, but Molly has the Transcendence, comes out just in time. Now, with the response, Haker, EMPs, and that was just perfect. GZA needed a bigger EMP, but Nero only hit 3 members of Lingon, and one of them wasn't Molly. Molly was able to get the EMP out, giving GZA a taste of their own medicine. Rise is the one that's been able to try and transcend people, but it was coming out from Haker,
nice shatter.
or from Molly, that is. And now there's the Earth Shatter. Very clean Earth Shatter. J-Mac and Kami pick up those kills off that one. J-Mac, another one in the corner, able to D-Mac the D-Buff, but they use the D-Buff to keep themselves in the fight. The shield comes out just in time. No kills off that one. Now Mui with the rally, but it's very, very late. And at this point, a waste, but they really have no other choice here. Someone has to touch, they do. It will be Sentry on the Lucio, but they too will get melted. LGE weathers the storm, and they are able to take that second point.
And I think we're actually gonna be, we're gonna be here.
Yeah, let's bring it. We gotta bring in Panda.
Yeah.
Panda, what do you gotta say about that one? Because right there, LG, it looks like they were faltering for about 4 minutes or so, but then they finally found their stride.
Thoroughly impressed by the solo carry that GZA has in Nero, and this is why we highlighted them at the beginning of the season, leading up to that exact point. I mean, finding value not in the Deadeye, but the CC, and always checking corners. And then that Sombra came around too, and that's just really rang to me. Able to quite literally give LGE.Huya a taste of their own medicine, cycling fantastic EMPs. It looks like LGE doesn't exactly like their the taste of their own composition, and they are always playing very close together. And at that point, GZA Academy switched to a full counter dive at that. So always following up on hacks. You'll notice that Nero was always finding key hacks on either Piggy, J-Mac on Reinhardt, Zarya respectively, or Molly on Zenyatta, always shutting down a key part of what makes that 3-2-1 very explosive in the way, from Discord and the Reinhardt cleave and the bubble to keep Reinhardt alive too. So GZA Academy coming into Assault with their own I guess course of action. Not to mention, if they're going to end up taking a map and turning around the series, it's going to be this one in particular. LGE.Huya have dropped one map, and that was last week, and it was Horizon Lunar Colony. So Assault is arguably their weakest map variant, and this is going to be GZA's strongest, as both these teams, in fact, are 2-1.
All right, thanks, Panda. No, it's actually a good point there. I didn't realize their only one map win or loss, that is, was on Assault. So that could be that one shining opportunity here for GZ Academy to potentially knock another map off of this, LG squad and screw up their differential a little bit. Though at this point, I don't think that really matters for LG. I don't think they're worried about the individual map count here that they get. They really just want the wins. And they really want to win here in Hanamura, because not only do they have the opportunity to take the series, but they want to do it convincing.
Yeah, and Nero here going to be going back to the fair. We saw his fair could have some nice moments, and there gets a really nice pick onto Haker. That was great also from MG, was able to scout him out, so nicely done. Nero getting some nice kills, and they're going to be able to take this point, Rapture.
Yeah, this is, all right, so all right, LG's like, you know what, this is not a fight we can win, and J-Mac just kind of accepts his fate there. Yeah, really just kind of snowballing off those initial picks. That was a pretty basic fight to win there for GZA. They had to win it at that point because of how kind of laid out in front of them it was, and now they have a big opportunity.
No.
Oh,
no, don't swap.
Why would
no, they had the combo. They had the combo available.
All right, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. You know, at this, if they think, I would say if they think they're gonna switch eventually, why not switch now? But I think I can see what you're saying. They have the combo to potentially just take it right here.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Barrage EMP combo. Granted, it hasn't worked well for them in previous fights, but you did have it available to you. So I would have liked to have seen them at least use it and then come back, especially since Lingon Esports is already switching themselves. They're going to be resetting their ultimate economy just a little bit. Nice hack there, but a big EMP comes out, doesn't get most of the people, doesn't get Haker. That's really most important.
Yeah, Alexa does get hacked though, so you can see it almost got like 4 with that EMP. And look at this snowball, this is crazy. Yeah, they have to use the EMP, but Haker throws it down and then gets killed, so they can't follow up the Transcendence from Molly. Gonna try and keep them on the point long enough for the reinforcements to get back up onto the point for LG. And LG has lost half of point B, just under 6 minutes. This is nuts. LG might lose point B quicker than GZA did right now. But there's the sound barrier. The Transcendence comes out. J-Mac and Molly, though, they're on point. And, well, as they say, classic Assault out here, because LG just somehow still able to get back in because of those close respawns. They were able to walk back up onto the point. The support ultimates were able to hold on long enough for the reinforcements to get in. And GZA, now they have 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock to get another point.
And that transcendence from Rise maybe just a little bit too over aggressive. You know, you already had 2 people down. You were trying to save the fight, but you definitely could have kept it for this next fight, especially since Lingon Esports is going to be coming back with the transcendence of their own. They're trying to scout out Haker. He gets out alive, and they seem to be they're trying to get him at any point that they can. Anytime that they see Haker, they're all diving onto him and making sure he's not being able to farm up his EMP, where it looks like you see Mui here has his available to him. So again, you have to be looking out for these supports. Is Molly going to be able to get this transcendence before the EMP comes out, and is he going to be able to dodge it?
Oh, J-Mac tried to dodge it as well. Couldn't do so. Now has the Diva up in the grill. Has to fall back. But Tizzy finds Haker, and Rise takes J-Mac as well. It's a 6v4 situation here for the GZA squad. They got to push up on that one. They have to. This is their cue to go in. They force out the transcendence from Molly. But again, this is what we saw last fight. The transcendence and the sound barriers from LG was able to keep them in the fight. MG, though, responding with the Diva Bomb onto Piggy against the kill. EMP, though, from Haker, but it only finds Rise and Sentry. That's not enough here, LG. Just not enough. They got to get more. 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Only 1/3 of point B is taken, but GZA is looking for more. As J-Max trying to sustain with the Prime Rage to get pushed off. Now it's going to be the Lucio. They get melted in the corner, but still GZA does not have anyone off. They finally do get, they get LG off the point. They're able to get another tick. 2/3 of point B now taken. Mui finds J-Mac, and now it's Piggy getting up onto the point with the Doom Fist. Uppercuts, forces out the transcendence from Ryan.
That was so
their
nice.
rally. A big play as Nero finds Piggy. That's huge. They need more damage from the Doom Fist. LGE is losing players left and right. Their big damage players are going down before they can make an impact. But here's a Bastion from J-Mac in the corner. And is GZA ready for it? They are. Tizzy get the kill as the Sombra hack comes through on the Bastion, and then Tizzy finds the kill. Not only do they find the kill, they get a 2-piecer. They get lengths as well. Rise finds Piggy. LG scrambling to get players and keep them on the point here.
It's still
2 minutes and
stalling.
30 seconds. Kenobi, they're still
They finally
stalling.
got it. Whew.
But it's over. GZA not only takes the point, but they have a massive time make advantage.
Yeah, and it's that looks like the best that I've seen GZA look all season. The way that they're playing around the way that they're peeling for their supports, you know, making sure that Rise, every time he's getting EMP, isn't dying almost instantly. They're making sure that they're keeping their supports alive, keeping their players alive, and the Sombra isn't getting the value that it was before. So great job there from GZA, and I was a little bit skeptical of that swap that they made, not keeping the Barrage combo, but they made it work out for them, even though it took them a little bit of time to get to that point. They were able to finally take it, and really nice play and really coordinated play coming out from GZA, not something that we've said really throughout this entire season of Contenders.
No, absolutely. That's why I was, you know, you were definitely like, oh no, don't swap. I was like, okay, I think this swap's a good idea, because if they spent too much time on that composition and it didn't work, they might not have had enough time left to get the win they eventually got. So a lot of the time it is pretty better in Overwatch to just go with the composition you think you're eventually going to be on, instead of staying on one too long and then eventually having to change, losing your ultimate charge to really, you know, unclutch moment essentially, right? But yeah, GZA, this is the best they've looked in this series so far.
They've looked all season.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is the best they've looked.
I think we can go there. Yeah, this is the best they've looked all season. But again, it is assault. This is where teams can hold on longer than normal. So will that be the case here? Can LGE still take it from them, or is this, you know, the start of a potential reverse sweep here for GZA?
And LGE, with this time back, is only going to have time for about one fight available to them. So Haker here, if he's going to stay on the Sombra, has to take a lot of time to try and farm up to that EMP. It looks like he's going to try and go around to the back, maybe hack one of the tanks to just farm up some of that EMP charge with 30 seconds because they had to go back and swap. And Molly is down. That's a huge pick from Rise.
Yeah, Rise, again, a player that stood out to me. It baffled me that they took Rise out in the previous map, because Rise has really been playing well all day so far, and you're seeing it again here, Kenobi. Now 20 seconds on the clock, and LG, literally, none of them are close. None of them have even reached 20%.
Oh, Molly's dead again. It cannot be happening right now where the Zenyatta dies each time at the start of these fights. It just can't happen. And 7 seconds left. They're going to have to go in 5v6 right now.
Oh, Haker does do that. That goes right in. Haker is still so far away from an EMP. They can't rely on that. J-Mac, though, gets hacked. Sentry gets hacked here, looking for someone. Someone has to come and touch. Overtime taken away. Someone does. But Haker's so low. They can't afford to lose this Sombra. They need to get bolstered up. But everybody from LG has stepped up the point. Kami, in that moment, does get taken out as they're trying to recontest. J-Mac swinging away here, trying to get rid of the tank line, but there's an EMP, and LG gets hit hard. 4 members of their team get caught in the crossfire. The EMP, very crucial and very effective there, just like that. Just like that, literally just like that. LGE.
It's just
30
that easy.
seconds. It's just that easy. 1, 2, 3, easy peasy lemon squeezy. In 30 seconds, LGE gets routed. But it's not over yet. This could still go. This could still technically go to a tie. GZA, I think, only has about 30 seconds, 3 minutes on the clock. But that is enough time to potentially do a full hold.
Yeah, and they might have to bring out something, different, maybe a more bunkery composition to try and hold the best they can. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Holding point A on Hanamura is very difficult in the history of Overwatch. We
That's
very
true.
rarely see teams usually, unless the bunker composition is able to snowball very far ahead, we very rarely see teams, try and just full hold this point. So I think they're going to have to maybe need to bring out maybe, a Junkrat and Orisa, stuff like that to try and maybe you say, okay, well, we can get the tire, we can get the supercharger, try and just make sure our ultimates rotate so that we can win. But there in that last fight coming out from in that last round rather, we saw Molly dying twice early. That cannot be happening in those moments. You need to be keeping him alive, because again, you saw they had to go into that last fight with 7 seconds left, 5v6. Hager has to translocate onto the point. It's just a very sloppy fight at that point. So great job from the rest of GZ Academy, making sure that they understand that if we able to get these kills, we're just going to be winning off of attrition.
Yeah, absolutely. They have such an advantage just time-wise that they can play that kind of game and let the ults come to them. 3 minutes and 32 seconds on the clock here for GZA, and not only do they have that much time, they only have to get 1 tick. They only have to get 1/3 of point A, because LGE didn't do anything in their last attempt in terms of getting percentage. So right now GZA is a really good position. Just like that, Mui finds Haker. That's such a huge pickoff. If you keep Haker low on ultimate charge, that's enough to win fights, really. Kami at half health already. Now J-Mac as well, Piggy as well. Nero looking for ways, and Nero, who has really stepped things up after a kind of somewhat shaky showing on Lijiang Tower. Nero now looking a lot better on this far, has a lot more room to work with. Molly now throwing down a ton of orbs, trying to keep their team bolster alive without getting picked off themselves, and so far it is working.
Oh, Tizzy's down.
Nero finds one of J-Mac. Now it's a 4v4 situation, but Piggy loses their mech while Sentry reses Tizzy. That's a big one, as LG now weaker in their tank line position, but that's a big hack, as Tizzy is nano boosted. Mui shutting down Tizzy before they're able to do anything. That was big. And now that's a wasted nano boost from Rise. So LGE, a big win off that fight, and now they've reduced GZA to 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so on the clock.
Molly completely makes up for the deaths he had in that first round, or that second attack that he had. He comes and farms up Transcendence very quickly, and is able to get a very nice Transcendence to keep his tanks alive and the rest of his team alive through the nano boosted Winston that was coming at his team. But that's unfortunate, because Mui does have this EMP available, and we've been seeing Mui's been hitting them pretty well so far, and Haker has his EMP. It's a battle of the EMP Rapture. Who's going to get the bigger one?
And historically, it has been Haker. Mui thrives down 1, and it's only 2. The Haker, they're double the EMP, double the value. 4 members of GZA get hit by Haker's EMP there, completely outshowing Mui's EMP. And LGE wins the fight here. Minute and 38 seconds on the clock. That's another win here. Historically, Hanamura is that map that's hard to hold point A, but LGE might be doing it.
And this is a very scary position right now for GZA. They're not going to have any support ultimates for a very long time. Sentry has to farm to the sound barrier very quickly, because Lingon Esports, they're looking at both support ultimates available for them, and Mui isn't that close to EMP either, and Haker is probably going to get hit sooner, so they really need to make something happen, GZ Academy, here with this nano booster. Something, maybe a bomb from MG. Something needs to happen, because the support ultimates are here for Lingon, and Mui goes down. That's a disaster.
Yep, now Haker's going to be ahead even further in ultimate charge. Nero goes down. A minute left on the clock. I was talking about ties here, man, and LGE, I think they might have heard me. Now they have the ultimate lead. They potentially are holding on to their lead here with a tie. This would be huge. This would be so hard for GZA to, after all of this, to come out of here with a tie. Really, they would definitely be shattered mentally after that.
Yeah, this is last fight here, and Mui can get this EMP if he's able to get onto a tank and hack a tank, but Haker could use this EMP aggressively to just go in onto the team whenever they want. Lingon has the huge ultimate advantage right now, and 28 seconds left, Rapture. This is last fight.
And 5 ultimates ready here for LG. EMP comes down. Only 3 members of GZA are hit, but it's big because Sentry was one of them, and Sentry was getting closer to sound barrier, but they need that healing as well.
No.
That was so big. LGE's Haker hits the very crucial members of the other team with the EMP, and Mui still doesn't have theirs. They need to get one. They're still 20% away. You got to make this happen. 5 seconds left on the clock. LG is in full control. There's no one from GZA to touch the point, I don't think. Overtime ticks away. It will be Mui. barely puts a toe on it. Now the D.Va, Lucio, and Winston trio coming in. A D.Va bomb, though, from behind. A big play there, but J-Max Primal Rage is the one that's going to take the kill. Finds Rise, looking for more. Overtime ticking away. GZA losing members left and right. MG goes down, and now it's just one more on the
It's a
point.
disaster.
And then it is the Sombra Mui. Mui has to fall back. Now it's Nero. I'm sorry, Nero was the last one, but Nero submitting, and it will be a tie. And it will be GZA still down 2 maps here, and that means they cannot win the series. LGE, I believe that means they will be taking it as it is 2-0. They can't win another map. Panda, we're gonna bring you back in here. A tie, 3 minutes and 30 seconds of a hold here on point A. That was crazy from LGE.
I think what's even crazier is that we had that fantastic match on Hanamura that led up to a draw. It's just like so back and forth and time again. What you got to see was what happens after you lose the first fight decisively or when you lose any fight decisively on Hanamura point A, right? That's what sets up most full holds, and where you see where GZA were left in those final moments where they were just taking too long. They became so assertive with their 3-2-1 composition, backed by Mui on Sombra or Nero when they were playing it, depending on which side you're looking at, all the way to a very passive, very timid, if you will, that they started playing for that EMP that took too long after the blunder of an EMP barrage, or the nano boost barrage that happened on their first attempt of that attack. Following that, the entire team of LGE, they had ult economy. It was just so hard to break through it at that point that you can't play hesitant. The longer that you take, the more ultimates that LGE are going to end up building themselves, while GZA are still trying to work on theirs. LGE are just going to sit there and just twiddle their thumbs, just wait for you to come in, and then bada bing, bada boom, here's another EMP from Haker, and yeah. It's just almost just a very easy cleanup for LGE at that point. You cannot play that passive against them.
No, you're absolutely right, Panda. Thank you very much for the insight. You're right. Eventually, Haker's gonna get those EMPs, gonna make things happen. Kenobi, any final thoughts on that map before we take a quick break?
If GZA wasn't mental boomed before, they're mentally boomed now. You in a position like that where your playoff lives are on the line, your season is on the line, and you have 3 minutes and 38 seconds to get one tick, and you don't get that tick. That's got to be brutal for you.
Absolutely. It's really rough to come back from that one. Unfortunately, scoreline wise, they can't. Because of that draw, LG has taken the series 2-0, but there will be one more map. Will LG win this series 3-0, or will GZA be able to somehow take a fourth and final map? We'll see what happens after a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Contenders China Season 1 2019 Week 4 Day 1 is coming your way after this short break.
Shines a lot of the time, so this is the map to do it, especially if you're going to play double sniper. And it looks like you're right, we are going to be seeing this kind of bunker competition. Orisa Hog always has a place on this map, as there's a nice hook to start off with. We don't see it doesn't get the kill just quite yet, but it looks like both teams running some double sniper.
Yeah, this is actually, if you were watching Overwatch League last night, I believe, a composition that was being ran in the Mayhem Justice game, I potentially believe, from GZA. Lingon doing their own variation of it, but instead of the Roadhog, they're running the Sombra. So that's no surprise, of course. Haker is the Sombra god for LGE.Huya. Meanwhile, they have Kami on the Widowmakers taking some shots of their own while they're trying to pick up the tanks. They went down to 80 HP. Meanwhile, Molly picked up the slack of the Hanzo. They go down to 80 HP as well, and trying to stay alive without getting peeked and getting poked out here as they try to hold sight lines.
Oh, Molly.
Molly.
We'll forget that happened. We'll forget it happened.
Molly had a little trouble there. We're going over to Rise now. Also having some trouble with the hooks. Can't land one. Academy backing up more and more as Langsa throws down the Valkyrie. Meanwhile, Molly finding some shots with Piggy, D-Max, MG. Now Molly with some more shots. It's a great sight line here to get some shots down. Try and build up that ultimate, but falls back, potentially feeling like a flank coming on, and indeed there was. The other Hanzo was looking for them, and that will be Nero falling back now, giving Molly an opportunity to push up farther, but the Mercy pocketing the Widowmaker will fall back. Nero does get the pick off at the Kami, though, just we pull away. The headshot comes down. Now a Dragon Strike into the back line here
really
of
nice
LGE, and J-Mac gets caught. Nero, again, popping off a little bit here, finding these shots.
Yeah, it was a really nice Dragon Strike, and Kami here, as you can see, 62% towards his ultimate, not really getting the value you need out of these double sniper. Nero, however, getting a lot of value off of this Hanzo. We've known Nero as being basically a DPS carry, and here he's showing it and showing how good he is on these DPS heroes. We started with this Pharah, and now we're seeing it with this Hanzo as well, but Haker has this EMP armed and ready.
Yeah, and Molly has a Dragon Strike ready to go too. Piggy has a Diva Bomb. Molly lets the Dragon Strike loose with the Diva Bomb. So as everyone's scattering away from the Dragon Strike, the Diva Bomb comes out. But both of those ultimates not landing too much. It will be a Diva Bomb getting rid of the Bongo from Tizzy. Piggy then finds a kill on MG. So a lot of that was really kind of zoning. They wanted GZA to start scrambling. So the ultimates themselves weren't going to get the kills. It's really up to LGE to follow up on the ultimates and get the kills on their own. And they will, as Molly finds two. Rise hiding in the corner, trying to avoid that Hanzo Deathmaster here. Molly with a triple kill right there. No overkill, but I think that'll be enough.
Molly says, I'm sick of playing support. I want to play some DPS, and here he's showing the value that his Hanzo can bring. And this triple DPS lineup from Lingon Esports with the double sniper seems to be working out pretty well, whereas GZ Academy is taking a more tanky lineup. But again, MG, a lot of the times in this match, has been caught out and demeched very quickly, as Haker is going to be able to find the one clip on the Mui.
Yeah, one clip. Meanwhile, Molly looking for the one arrow. What are the quivers, right? For instead of clips for arrows, it'd be quivers for Molly. So you can get a quiver out here, and that'll be a full one plus a Dragon Strike into the corner. Tizzy falls back, not going to take that dragon to the face. And that does, unfortunately for GZA, though, give LG a lot of room to work with. Haker, at such low HP, able to hold up onto this corner and gets healed up just in time as the GZA is going to re-engage. EMP comes out from Haker. It finds three members of GZA. Nero has a Dragon Strike, might be able to do something with it here, but doesn't let it loose. Instead, hold on to it, potentially die before using it, while LG picks up the point.
Oh, and Molly is just absolutely farming right now on this Hanzo. It seems that no one can stop him. Haker is also doing a great job of getting into the back line and picking off Mui whenever he has the chance. Mui isn't really getting the help he needs or the peel. You know, MG's not being able to help him. Sentry isn't able to get to him in time as well. So this is a really nice play from Haker, putting pressure onto Mui and making sure that Kami is a little bit more comfortable with his positioning on Widow.
Yeah, Molly in a bit of a training gallery right here, just sitting, shooting at targets, and finally puts some pressure from Nero, who gets the kill and then stylishly goes into the Dragon Strike combo. Oh, I guess the combo off their kill, not common with other ultimate. They don't find anything. Now a Diva Bomb going to try and set things straight.
Oh, the pull almost got it.
Almost got something there. Haker now looking for more. MG finds the Diva Bomb to Kami while Haker finds Sentry. Now there's the EMP. Not EMP, I'm sorry, the translocator from Haker trying to get himself out of dodge. He almost has an EMP. Doesn't get it though, as GZA finds the kills.
And again, coming back into this next fight, Haker has done what he needed. He's farming towards this EMP. GZ Academy, not really a lot of ultimates to talk about. They have the Supercharger available to combo with Rise's Hull Hog if they would like to choose to do so. Mui is just going to go up onto the high ground, try and get a couple of picks before this fight even starts.
Meanwhile, Nero up on the high ground with that 80, 87, 91 ultimate charge here. Finds J-Mac with the relentless damage output. Meanwhile, Langston finds J-Mac with the res. Now going in more. Dragon Strike trying to cut off the back line of LGE from re-engaging, really just stop LGE from engaging at all, and it works for the moment. GZA still reducing time off the clock here from LGE as Kami goes down one by one. This is definitely looking like a different look for GZA. They're getting pokes, even taking a seat. All right, now you don't never get ahead of yourself. You haven't won the map just yet, and this is what LGE wants. GZA getting a little too ahead of themselves, a little too sure, while LGE can still win easily.
Yeah, and again, Haker is going to come back into this fight with this EMP. He's looking for it. He hasn't been scouted out, and he gets three. He gets actually four of them Rapture. That's a big EMP, and that's what you need.
Yeah, and there's nowhere for Tizzy to run. Langsa will pick up the kill, steals it away from Haker. Haker, though, again, Rise just won't let go. Despite the EMP, doesn't matter. We'll just, hey, you EMP'd me, but my mouse still works. I can still left-click you. I can still right-click you.
My gun still works.
My gun
isn't affected by the EMP.
My gun does not work on electricity, so I can keep using it. And for now, I mean, Rise still a very standout player. Moves over to the Zenyatta, the hero that they have really been standing out on for sure throughout the series and trying to make a difference there.
Yeah, and with a minute and 45 seconds left, you're going to get one or two more fights here for Lingon Esports unless you push this right now. Really nice bash there from the Brigitte to try and get, you know, Haker out of the way there. Nero has switched back over to the Sombra himself, going to try and farm that EMP.
And Haker, though, I believe got hacked as they're trying to get away. MG throws on a self-destruct, doesn't do much. In fact, doesn't really do much at all as LG was already in cover, so really no need for that self-destruct. Now we have Haker 75% and counting up to the EMP. Molly's super low, has to fall back, gets bolstered up as Kami throws down the rally. LGE is within 4 meters
Tizzy
to go
solo.
here, and there's Tizzy going down. Haker with the EMP, Rise and Millie follows suit, and just like that, there were still 3 members of GZA alive, but they couldn't get to the point in time. The payload gets to the end of the map, and LGE will complete it, and now all they have to do is hold off GZA to win this series.
Yeah, and that was a really nice job there from Haker at the end, hitting that huge EMP.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the same story. We've heard it so many times, but we're going to bring in Panda once again. Panda, you've read this book before. That's a chapter you've read before, the EMP landing. Are you looking for some more chapters, or are you kind of enjoying the content so far?
Well, it's a total of 3 chapters that even GZA got to read during Junkertown as well, because that's how as many times as they pushed LGE back after the card ended up snowballing through the entirety of Junkertown. They only got pushed back 3 times, and when that was ended up happening, the only thing that LGE.Huya had to do was just chill and wait for Haker to get that EMP back up, and they just walked in, got a 3 or 4 man, and they found value in it time and time again. That gives their entire team the free space to set up their own shield on cart, because, you know, go figure that you can't use your shield when you're EMP, Tizzy. So, you know, LGE just having an easier time of finding space. That the entire battle from there on out was just fought off of from Rise and Nero, just dragon strikes on top of hooks from whole hogs. It's all about the space control, especially on third, that you saw GZA finally find their biggest success. But again, it's just they're bringing more CC to the board. The swap to the 3-2-1 with the dive tanks was a little bit too late on third. I would like to see that a little bit sooner, just in an attempt to continuously shut down Haker. But when you don't give yourself the opportunity, we've seen this time and time again, too late of a swap from GZA, and they reap the benefits not having ults.
Thanks, Panda. Yeah, this might be a little late here for GZA. They are going to make slight changes. Nero back on the Hanzo as we move into GZA's offensive attempt here on the point, or on Junkertown, that is. LGE going back. Molly on the Hanzo. Haker still on that Sombra, of course. Kenobi, LGE. They're looking to try and end things right now. Compositionally, it's looking good, and Kami gets that first pick.
Yeah, really nice pick there from Kami. Molly is going to finish it off with a pick onto Sentry as well. And something that Haker's been doing really well this entire map so far is they're really just focusing down Mui. Mui, they know, is one of these Widowmakers who has this carry potential, so why not just focus him down with that Sombra, get into the backline, get into his head, make him just uncomfortable and not able to sit and free farm on that Widowmaker. Great play from him.
I think Molly was at 1 HP there before getting bolstered up. That was really, really low. Now getting closer and closer to a Dragon Strike, a Mundo. GZA now 3 minutes on the clock as Nero finds one on the Piggy. There's the opportunity to go in, but Lengsa is ready with the res. But that does mean that you're going to see that right side flank con from Mui while Nero holds up mid. Mui finds the kill onto Kami off screen. Centrally pops the Valkyrie to try and allow GZA to push up a little more aggressively here with that chain, with the extra healing that can be thrown down. Nero finds Molly. And this is, again, going very well for GZA, but Haker has the EMP. They're just got it just now. Mui trying to get out of dodge. Gets the pick on the Haker. The fadeaway headshot is huge, and Haker not going to be able to use that EMP now.
Yeah, Mui finally comes alive on the Widowmaker, is able to hit that really nice shot onto Haker, and if he goes down, actually, that would have turned the fight completely, because Haker would have gone back with that EMP, and they probably would have been able to clean up the fight. So great job there from Mui, finally showing his prowess on this Widowmaker. Yeah,
and this is right now what they need. They got to get those picks, because they have such a pick-heavy composition. They have to rely on those plays. And that's a lot of the time, that's what goes against the team that runs compositions like these, is you got to get those picks, and if you're not getting the picks, you can't do anything. And I think GZA has realized this. It's going to be harder to get picks on the second phase of the map because it's not as open. So let's move over to a composition that'll work a little better. Tizzy's still on the Winston, but they have moved Rise over. They moved Mui over. They've moved Nero over to different characters. They're going to try a different look.
Yeah, they're going to be playing the mirror here, and I think here for GZ Academy, you need to get ultimates out of this next fight. You need to make some economy pushes, maybe get the EMP out, get the self-destruct, get at these ultimates, because if you lose these fights vanilla, it's disastrous. An EMP comes up from GZ Academy, you take that if you're the side of GZ Academy. It's basically a fight-winning ultimate every time Haker hits an EMP, for anyways.
That's the thing, man. You got that EMP, and baby, you got a stew going. That's all you need. You just that's that flavor, right? And every time LGE needs to win a fight, they just spice that fight up with an EMP, and it works out. So GZA, another loss there. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock as LGE finds another one. I'm
Tizzy?
not really sure what Tizzy was going for there, but we have
That
to
was an
hope for the
over-aggressive
best.
dive, I think, is what we'll call that one.
Well, you know, hey,
And Haker matches it, so it's fine. He gives it back. You know, he gives it back. The homie stock.
the homie stock. Yeah, right, the homie stock. You gotta be there for your homies. 3 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock here for GZA as MG's gonna be pushing up with the D.Va self-destruct ready to go. Nero's about to get the EMP, is very much ahead of Haker, but you can see how many more ultimates LG has ready. 4 ultimates as Mui gets hacked, has the rally on the outside of that one. There's the EMP and it hits 4 members of LG, but none of the tanks. Self-destruct comes out from Picky, not gonna find Pager. J-Mac still has the primal range, but will be enough to keep this team alive. It will be a hack from Nero, so J-Mac will not be able to jump away to get out of dodge. Tizzy gets the kill.
Oh, Haker got stunned out of the EMP!
That is huge, and GZA still in control. Tizzy finds another kill. Nero on top of things, and LGE has to be running away with the tails between their legs.
That was so clutch for Mui. He's able to stun Haker out of EMP. That's absolutely nuts coming out from Mui. He's really shown up on this map specifically with his Widowmaker play, and now with his Brigitte play. Great job from the side of GC Academy. Again, looking really, really good comparatively to the rest of their season.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, why not now? You know, you might not make playoffs, but you got to get those clips. So I think that's
Put it in the reel.
Exactly. You got to get the reel bolstered up for next season. You know, and especially like a player like Rise, right? Like Rise, you could potentially see him on another team. A player that could continue to grow from here. Haker's another one of those players you might see him potentially in Overwatch League at some point here. Rise is certainly one of those players. Haker's certainly one of those players out here.
Oh, it's a big EMP.
Nero though, and Mui getting on the board with all these ultas being popped. Rise gets in there too. LG, they're not really like, you know, struggling here because they've already won the series. But GZA does want to try and win this legitimately.
And while this series might be over, I think this is a very important map, specifically because it's showing other teams how you can maybe take it to LGE.Esports. It seems like if you take the mirror here, they're not that comfortable playing against the Sombra of the same caliber. Molly gets a nice pick on the Mui to start this off with, but it seems that Nero is really up to the task on his Sombra play of his own and matching Haker a lot with these EMPs.
That really is the catch-22 a lot of the time for most Overwatch metas, is that the best way to win against a composition, or the best one in the meta, is usually to run that same composition. But if you can't run it as well, then you're still out of luck. But if you don't run it, you'll be out of luck. So you got to be able to keep up even when you run that mirror. And you're right, Haker has been ahead in the Sombra game, but Nero doing a good job to try and at least keep pace as best as they can. But hey, Nero finds Molly. That's a big pickoff, as Molly was about to get a Transcendence pretty soon. But Haker has the EMP waiting around in the bushes, all in plain sight essentially. And now going to throw that EMP down against 3 members of GZA who all scramble to get to cover while Sentry is able to pop the sound barrier. So no follow-up from LG. Now MG has a self-destruct. Going to try and throw that down.
Oh, J-Mac!
A massive Earth Shatter from J-Mac as they switch over to the Reinhardt and throw down an Earth Shatter for the triple kill. GZA reduced to less than 1 minute and 30 seconds of the clock, get absolutely put on their backs.
And you can see how scared GZ Academy is whenever they hear the sound bite from Haker on that EMP. They use that sound barrier just automatically. It doesn't get any value, and then J-Mac comes up with a huge shatter to win that fight. And with 1 minute and 10 seconds, GZ Academy has 1 or 2 fights left. They have this EMP available. Nero scouts out Haker. He's able to get him.
And Nero has the EMP too. Probably going to use that translocator against the middle of the fight, but there's a self-destruct coming out. The self-destruct gets blocked just in time, keeping them alive while self-destruct comes out from MG. That doesn't do a play dirt either.
It's big.
EMP from Nero, it's up from above, but the Transcendence comes out from Molly just in time. That's used. Earth Shatter as well. 3 or 4 members of LG get caught. A fat Earth Shatter. That is what we call a Mr. Fatty Daddy. And Tizzy with a big one. GZA still with the pedal to the floor, but they don't want to get pulled over for going over the speed limit here. LG can still come back into this one.
Yeah, this game has been full of fatty shatty. Shout out to Ham and Boopasaurus Rex and NA Contenders for that one. But man, Rise and J-Mac have, or Tizzy and J-Mac have come to play. J-Mac has another one available to him. They have this EMP shield combo. Can they use it correctly? Oh, and it's big.
That one kind of speaks for itself there, Kenobi. And with 7 seconds on the clock, that's the worst time to be taking those casualties for GZA. Haker, 41 HP, getting back into the fight. Overtime ticking away. J-Mac finds Mui. J-Mac with the charge. Gets caught on the corner looking for the D.Va, but the D.Va gets stunned. A great replay there from Kami, keeping the D.Va away. EMP comes down, but is it too little, too late? Nero finds 3 members with that EMP, but JMac can still use that left click and still use that mouse 1. Overtime still ticking away. LG still has members on the point. 64 situation. Tizzy's Hammond is not going to be enough. And there it is, folks. LGE takes the series 3-0, and they are up, 4-0 in the group.
Yeah, and this is a map that I expected, you know, it was going to be a little bit more convincing, I think, from LGE, but GZA came to play it and had some very bright moments, just not bright enough for the rest of this, for them to win the series. They looked a lot better than they have throughout the entire season, and maybe this is a good first step towards maybe, you know, season 2 of Chinese Contenders for these players going up into, you know, the two-way players, yeah, getting some experience. So this might be a learning experience for the GZ Academy squad. They are going to lose this map and go down to 1-3 and maybe have a very slim chance of getting into playoffs here.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. I don't think GZA might actually be able to make playoffs at this point. We're going to go to the sidelines here to our reporter, Panda. Panda, you saw that series. We did get a tie, but otherwise LG took every single W there. Any thoughts to wrap this one up?
I think that you have to take a seriously look at J-Mac. I mean, those raw earth shatters at the end there, that's what makes good Reinhardt smile, you know, and you really get to see that when it's unassisted from a Brigitte time and time again, and even from the hacks too. J-Mac taking those fights into their own hands, recognizing that Nero was finding way too much success, offsetting their tempo of LGE.Huya for GZA's favor. You can take a look at some of these highlights from that map too. I wanted to touch up on this too, as well. DPS compositions, they typically work out for Guangzhou Academy just because they don't necessarily always have to play as a team. They have solo pop-off potential, and you get to see that from time and time again, whether it's from Mui's Widowmaker and that epic fadeaway shot onto Haker on first, or Nero's Hanzo. They just have a lot of potential, and that's where they find a lot of success time and time again. But they still need to follow up on their teamwork, and that's where JMac is able to find a lot of open space, whether it's dives or those fatty shatties. It's always going to end up coming through from experienced team, and that's just what gets punished from a team that doesn't necessarily play together. When a team plays very strong 3-2-1 or 3-3, then they're just going to be able to quite literally stampede over top of you. So now Guangzhou Academy are giving me reminiscent feelings of when British Hurricane got relegated as being the first academy team facing that fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely a rough look for them. You don't want to be an academy team that gets relegated in Contenders. That'd be such a hard loss. Meanwhile, Kenobi, LGE, was it just the Haker show, or were there other players that really had the spotlight on them as well?
No, I think JMac is one of the people that I would also highlight, and he's definitely throughout the couple of games that we've seen through him throughout the rest of the season has definitely cemented himself as being one of the best main tanks in the region. You know, you do have Over on the other side in the other group from Billy Gaming, but JMac has definitely proven he is at this kind of level in China where it's like these good main tanks. He has a very good Winston. His Rien looked really good on that last map, and the way that he coordinates specifically with Haker, I talked about it before on Lijiang Towers, every single time that there is a hack from Haker, every single time JMac is always there on the Winston finishing up those kills. He's just doing such a great job of communicating with Haker and with those hacks. So I think JMac is definitely someone to continue to look out for if we're, you know, talking about someone else who's not the Haker show. Haker, again, still probably the star of this team, the best Sombra in the region, probably getting towards one of the best in the world. So I think Haker is definitely the star, but you have some supporting cast from JMac and from the rest of the team as well.
Well, it was certainly a good show nonetheless. Glad we had front row seats for it. And now we still have front row seats for 2 more matches. Don't go anywhere. We have more Overwatch Contenders China Season 1 2019 Week 4 Day 1 coming your way. Our next matchup, it's Billy Gaming versus Alter Ego. Another opportunity for an academy team to potentially pick up a W. We'll see what happens as we move on to a short break, but don't go anywhere. More Contenders China coming your way in just a few moments.